check it out, check it out. Wait, what? I love being black.
What's poppin', nieces and nephews? It's your favorite neighborhood black girl, and we back, and we black, and we back, and we black, hey! Happy Black History Month. We're keeping the vibes going. So today I wanted to talk about my personal favorite black-led TV shows and movies, and kind of have a discussion about Hollywood and why representation is so important to people that look like me, talk like me, act like me. I'm gonna kind of do it just like I did the playlist video. I've picked five movies and 5 TV shows that were important to me personally to talk about, but I'm gonna throw each, like, all the TV shows and all the movies up on the screen just so that you guys can see what kind of impacted my life and, you know, is something that, like, is important to me, and we can kind of compare and contrast to what movies that you may have seen as a kid and, like, what movies I may not have seen as a kid. With that being said, this is definitely a conversation that is constantly ongoing, and I know that I'm just one person. I'm not going to change the dynamics of Hollywood on my own, but the more we talk about it, the more people are willing to listen or not listen. I don't know. We're going to move on to the movie category, and y'all know the drill. You got 5 seconds to pause and get your screenshots ready. Go. Alright, hope you got your screenshots. So with the movie category, this one was kind of hard. Like, one, to think of movies that were important to me, but also, like, just hard to think of black movies that aren't tragic. Like, a lot of the movies where it's a black lead or black ensemble, they're all slave movies, or the black people are evil, or they're just portrayed in a sense that, like, isn't us anymore. We're trying to move forward from that. I'm tired of seeing the same slave movie over and over and over again. It's the same movie with a different lead every single time, and I'm tired of that shit. Tired of it. The first movie I want to talk about, actually it's 2 because they kind of go hand in hand. The first movie I want to talk about is Up, Up and Away. This is an older Disney Channel movie about black superheroes, and I don't care what y'all say, Up, Up and Away walked so Black Panther could run, okay? It did. And Static Shock walked so Up, Up and Away could jog so that Black Panther could run. But Up, Up and Away is just one of those movies that, like, people kind of forget that exists, but it was my first time seeing black people as superheroes. And the kid that saved the day was the one in the family that didn't even have powers. But it was just like, you got to see a character where he wasn't like the rest of his family, and, like, sometimes his family picked on him, but he ended up being the one that saved their asses. And you kind of just learn that even though you're not like the rest of your family, you can still be important. And that kind of ties into, I wanted to mention that movie for the sole fact that we did have a black superhero movie, and we could be superheroes, y'all. Like, I think that movie is so important. It is so important, even though it's corny as hell and a little white kid chews on foil. But, like, white people are evil. That's the moral of the story in that movie. White people are evil and they just want to rule the world. Stop. But the next movie I really wanted to talk about is Black Panther. And I'm sure most of, if not all, black people have seen Black Panther. That movie did so much. And I wanted to mention this because I recently had a friend show me a white person saying that Black Panther isn't some cinematic American masterpiece like everybody likes to say that it is. It was a decent superhero movie, but it's not all that. And first off, what I want to say to you, sir, is boo! You're white, nobody asked you. Shit like that is what pisses me off and just shows that black people can't have shit. Like, we can't be happy about shit. It's like, y'all got every other superhero out there and we finally get the storyline of our own and you're mad because it's too black for you. Like, Black Panther, it's in his name. Black Panther. But it's just like, yeah, okay, to you it wasn't a masterpiece, but to somebody that's never seen a superhero look like them except back in like the late 90s, like, are you dumb? It's rare. And then for everybody in the movie to be black and then they're African, and it showed, first of all, it showed Africa in a light that like people aren't used to, because for whatever reason people constantly associate Africa with like being poor, and Africa, they're thriving over there. It's not like there's poor areas everywhere. It doesn't matter where you live. There's a poor every area in every country, every city, every state. Poor people exist, and like there are thriving areas in every country, every city, every state. Like, Africa's not just like you're not gonna just go to Africa and just see nothing but poverty. Like, they can thrive too. Like, they have people, they have tech people, they have presidents, like they have people doing shit. Like, it's not just, they don't all just live in huts. And it was kind of dope to see like a place like Wakanda, which was supposed to be an African country, creating all this tech in a sense of like, we've been doing this, y'all late. We have one of the most highly needed like components, like elements out there, and y'all want it and you can't have it. I just think that the premise of Black Panther is so important, because literally the smartest person in the world just happens to be a 16-year-old black girl. That's not a coincidence. Shuri is my idol. Just got to see black people in a different space, like a totally different space, thriving, being super, being great. You got to see ancestors, and you got to see what it's like when, but you also, to me, what I loved about Black Panther is that you got a feel of like internalized anti-blackness and what it's like to watch other people that look like you be doing better than you, and like just the amount of like hate and disgust builds up inside you just because you're not where they are. And you can get there if you just work towards it. Like, stop trying to take shit from people and just ask them what they did and get there on your own, but also where somebody else isn't where you're meant to be. And I just think that that's why, you know, movies like Black Panther are important. The next movie I wanted to talk about is a continuation of a TV show that I talked about, but it's the Proud Family movie. And the reason I love, first of all, I love the Proud Family movie. That movie is so funny, but it was like the first Disney Channel show that got its own feature film. Drop a like for the Peanuts dance battle. Zoe said, yeah, boy. But it's like, you got to see, again, black people taken from other black people. Like, y'all are weird out there. Like, you can come up too. Just work. You just have to do the work. And I just feel like a lot of the time that movie portrayed somebody that didn't want to do the work. The work was done for them and they slapped their own name on it. And that shit's irritating. Like, you could just do the work and be just as successful. But it's just like, and then just wanting to like take over the world. That shit is weird to me. Like, it's just so weird. And I've learned that from the Proud Family movie. Like, 1, don't sell out. 2, do the work yourself. 3, don't be kissing no boys in the car while listening to Jhené Aiko. I ain't forget Penny kissing in the car, kissing on 15 Cent. Anyway, I was gonna keep it cute with the Proud Family because I already talked about them, but that movie is important. That movie is important. Next movie I want to talk about is a movie that's not out yet, but The Photograph with Issa Rae and LAKEY. That movie, I just know, is going to be extremely important. It's going to go down as one of the best love stories, because we're finally getting, from what I see in the previews, you're finally getting a movie that's not like you're finally getting a black love story that's not traumatic or harmful to the woman, or portraying the man as like this villain. Like, it's just two people that just happen to meet. They're falling in love, they're doing their thing, they're just being happy. And I just find it so annoying that we can never get a movie where a couple falls in love that's not based off tragedy or ends in tragedy. And it's just nice to see a movie that looks promising, that like I can just watch it and be like, wow, I wish somebody would love me. The last movie on the list that I want to talk about, and I saved this one for last for the sole fact that it is my all-time favorite movie. This movie is the most important to me. It's The Princess and the Frog. And this movie, one, is important because black girls finally got their princess. They finally got somebody that they get to be, and it's not weird. You don't get those side comments of like, you're not Cinderella, you don't look like Cinderella, you can't be this person, you don't look like them. We finally got our Disney princess, but what pisses me off is that she was a frog for 90% of the movie. Disrespectful. But the other reason why this movie is so important to me is because it portrayed Creole culture so well. I personally never felt more represented in my life than when I seen The Princess and the Frog. And y'all know Tiana's like my girl. I got Dr. Facilier right here. I've got Tiana and Naveen right here. Tiana over here. I got a little baby Tiana over by my bed. I want to be Princess Tiana so bad, and it's not because she's black, but because she did it by herself. She got Tiana's place on her own. She worked hard. She saved the money herself. She busted her ass. And that's why that movie's important. You got to see a young black girl do shit on her own. It wasn't handed to her. She didn't take no handout. She did it by herself. She wanted to make her parents proud. She did it on her own. She didn't even want Naveen to begin with. She didn't even want that nigga. She was looking at him like, you're gross, go away. And she got to learn who he really was, because she wasn't looking at his face. Like, he's beautiful, he's a pretty man. But she got to learn who he was because he was a frog for the majority of the movie with her. And you got to learn, like, beauty's only skin deep. And I hate that they portrayed that storyline with black people, because I feel like that's a little weird to give like the beauty's only skin deep talk when it's coming like to black people. But like, the white princesses fall in love within like an instant. But also, Tiana was no damsel in distress. She was like, I don't need saving. I don't need no man. I'm chilling. If I happen to get one on the way, that's different. But she wasn't looking for a man. And then you had her little Southern Belle best friend that was looking for a man. Sis was thirsty. You had Tiana. She was doing things on her own. She was so focused on herself. She opened up. She learned more about herself. She got to learn like other people's lives, and learning about Ray and Louie and all them, and like helping them make their dreams come true. And it's just one of those movies for me that I truly felt represented. My culture was represented well. They did their research, they did it right. But Princess and the Frog, my all-time favorite movie. I finally got my princess, and her dress is green. Green is my favorite color. It's what she deserves in life, period. But on top of that, of wanting to talk about my favorite black-led, black ensemble TV shows and movies, I wanted to talk about why this whole topic as a whole is important and why it matters. Is because representation is something that we lack, and it's sad that we still have to have this conversation in 2020. I consulted a whole ass other person to concoct these 2 lists, and it was still hard to do. The way that it's difficult to think of black-led TV shows and movies off the top of your head that aren't the stereotypical ones that play on TV every single day. Like, are you dumb? That is unfair, and it's a whole other topic to talk about black-led TV shows where the characters aren't just light-skinned with 3B curls, and that's something I'll get into in another video. But the way that black people have to work very hard just to even be casted, let alone have Hollywood give them a space to be creative, because we could create so much more TV, so much more film if you just let us be. Stop trying to do us better than us. You can't do black better than black. And that's what's frustrating, is the way that black people just want to have a safe space to be creative and grow, and white people get so defensive over weird shit like that. It's just like, we are just doing our thing. We just want to be funny. We just want to be sensitive. We want to be dramatic in a way that's not harmful to our own community. I'm tired of seeing these movies and TV shows that are harmful to black women, that are portraying black men as evil or bad in a way that the black kids are constantly the bully. They're the token funny friend. They're the crackhead. They're the prostitute. I'm tired of it. We can be more. We can be the doctor. We can be the lawyer. We can be the businesswoman, the businessman, the CEO. We can be the superhero. We can be all of that, and Hollywood just won't let us. And that's what's disappointing. The people like Marsai Martin, who is so young and so beautiful, writing her own movies, and people telling her, don't do that, you're a kid. What? No, do that. You do that thing you want to do. You are amazing. Like, that is amazing to me. There's a reason, like, you have award shows that don't give black people the same opportunity that they do other people. Halle Berry won Best Lead Actress in 2001, and we haven't had a black woman win the category since. There's not very many that have won Best Lead Actor or Best Supporting Actor at the Oscars. There's not very many women that have won Best Supporting Actress, and even then they make it, there's more women that have won Best Supporting, and there's more men that won Best Supporting because they don't think we're good enough as a lead role. We don't stand a chance. And I know I'm just one person, and me saying this isn't going to change Hollywood, but the fact that people are so uncomfortable with the conversation makes me sick. The fact that white people get so defensive and try to get so defensive over black people taking white roles is so weird to me, because there's the people like Zendaya and Journey Smollett and Halle that are taking these roles, such as like MJ or Black Canary or Starfire or Ariel from The Little Mermaid, and white people get so offended and then try to throw in our face, but y'all get mad at Scarlett Johansson for portraying a person of color. The difference is this: your characters that you love so much and that you're crying over aren't real. White people get portrayed in characters of people that are real. These are their lives that you're making a joke of. It's not funny, it's not cute. You're making a mockery of these people's lives. Mary Jane's not real, baby. Starfire's not real. Ariel lives in the fucking sea. Mermaids aren't cute. Crabs don't talk. Get over it. We can do the same shit y'all do and probably better, and y'all don't want to see it. You hate to see it, and you try to take our lives and you try to portray us and then wonder why your shit flops or gets canceled. You can't do black better than black, baby. You can't. You fucking can't. You cannot. It's not real. It's not realistic. That's not a real thing. But I'm gonna end this video right here before I start throwing hands at the non-existent white people in my room right now. Just remember though, You ain't got a light to kick in. If you got a light to kick in, you wasn't supposed to be there in the first place. Like, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you can get notified whenever I post this month, because I'm going crazy out here. Let me know in the comments if you've watched any of the movies or the TV shows that I mentioned. Let me know in the comments if I missed any important movies or TV shows. Also, let me know in the comments how your Black History Month is going. Y'all being black out here? I hope so. Make these white people mad. That's all I got to say. And I'll see y'all back in another one, in another one, in another one, in another one. Bye!
I think I'm magical. I'm black and I'm beautiful. I just went natural. Yo, bitch think I'm beautiful. I look like Rudy Huxtable. They be like, who the fuck are you?